Hello and welcome in the next video. Today I will share with you the results of modifying and rebuilding the old CoreXY printer TwoTrees Sapphire Pro. My goal was to match the BambuLab P1P and P1S for under its price, and as you will see later, I didn't really succeed. But if you are interested in the modification process and how far I got, this video might be interesting. As the base of my project, I used a TwoTrees Sapphire Pro, which I bought new several years ago for $170. Its build volume is 235 mm in all dimensions. It has CoreXY construction and originally was running Marlin software and Bowden type extruder. It was rather an average printer. It worked, but quality and reliability was not really the best. I bought it more for playing with it than actually printing on it, so it had to wait several years in the storage unit until last year, when I actually had time to do something with it. So what got exchanged here? Actually pretty much. I started with rebuilding the printhead. Instead of Bowden extruder and standard 4010 fans, I used the diamond mount project as a base, changed the fans to two 5015 Sanon blowers, and 4020 maglev for cooling the heatsink. Hotend got replaced to E3D Vulcano V6, paired with 50 watts Bondtech heatlink, and extruder was exchanged to direct drive LDO Orbiter 2.0. I found also space for installing the ADXL345 module for input shaping and BL Touch. Those modifications did allow me to reach consistent volumetric flow exceeding 40 cubic millimeters per second. I was planning to add auxiliary fan as well, but that was an overkill, so I abandoned that idea. The two 5015 blowers were more than enough. Then it was time for the internals. Motherboard got replaced by Big Tree Tech Manta M4P together with CB1 computing unit for Klipper. I also replaced the drivers to TMC 2209 for all four servo motors. After installing and configuring Klipper, I added also a USB camera for monitoring the prints and Klipper screen, made of old Samsung Galaxy S2. I have to say it works really well. From other modifications, I also added an LED light, PI bedsheet, changed the belts to 2GT, added heatsinks to all the servo motors, and installed an enclosure, which, as you can see, is still missing the front door and the top. What remained original from here is the frame, power supply, servo motors, and linear rails. Not much. So, how is it printing after all the modifications? Actually much closer to BambuLab P1P than to original Sapphire Pro. I even renamed it to Sapphire Ultra because it's so much better. In some areas it's exceeding the P1P, like volumetric flow, cooling power, and actually having a useful touchscreen, but overall it's still falling below. Printing speeds can keep up with Bambu, but the accelerations are much lower to keep the print quality. I think the weakest point right now is the bed mounting. It has just one motor and the only support is on the back, so it's not very stable with quicker moves. To get print quality equal or almost equal to BambuLab, I had to slow down the accelerations and travel speed a bit, so it's resulting in average of 30% longer print time. I actually ended up using the printer on a regular basis because it's printing well, the Klipper screen is very convenient to use, and sending files via Wi-Fi directly from Orca Slicer is also no problem. Plus, camera maybe doesn't have the highest quality, but is definitely much more smooth than on BambuLab P1P. So, as a conclusion, I didn't really beat the P1P with my build, but at least it did cost more. Cost of everything from the printer to the last modifications was around $620, what was equal to the price of P1P at the time of when I was finishing the build. Right now, the P1P being priced at $450, it obviously wasn't the best deal in my life. Now it's time to answer the question if was it worth it? And the rational answer is obviously no. It does not print equally good and fast to P1P, as did cost me more than P1P, and it required a lot of time to assembly and configure everything when P1P works out of the box. So, simple answer, not worth it. But I don't regret it anyway. All the building process, configuring, installing Klipper and writing macros, soldering wires, pairing up the components together, designing custom parts, and at the end making it all work pretty reliably, it really did drastically improve my knowledge about 3D printers on much deeper level. It's not even like the Voron, where you have the instruction given and full config available uploaded by thousands of people who did it before you. With custom stuff, you need to make it all by yourself. So that printer was an investment. And all that knowledge did cost me $620. Maybe pretty much, but I also got the printer as part of the deal. But to be honest, I don't recommend this path. It really can be frustrating when you are stuck at something for 2 weeks and nothing seems to work. It's just better to buy and play with the Voron if you are looking for hobby for the evenings and understanding the printers, or just buy the BambuLab if you want to print. So that's the story of my Sapphire Ultra. Now I can also give my printer the score in the same way as I'm scoring another printers to get some comparison of what I've achieved. First category, the print quality. 7 out of 10. I honestly can't say it prints bad, but it's worse than P1P. Next, first layer. 7 out of 10. I don't have problems with the first layer and the BL touch is useful, but it's also a bit worse than on P1P. Then, user experience. 7 out of 10. Right now you just send the file directly from the slicer and it just works. The touchscreen with Klipper screen installed is also working really well. It's actually not that bad. Next, features. 7 out of 10. As I just mentioned, it has a nice touchscreen, Klipper, input shaper, automatic bed leveling, and a camera. Last, the price. 5 out of 10. From price perspective, it's not the best deal. It has some really good quality parts and it's a decent printer, but not worth the price. You can get better stuff for that. So that's it in this video. Just wanted to share it if some of you would be thinking if it's worth building your own printer instead of buying one. And the answer is no. If you have an old printer, it's definitely worth installing Klipper on it, but that's it. Don't overinvest. Consider leaving a like and subscription if you want to help my channel to grow. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.